And you're listening to Motorcycle Talk with Gary Anderson and Kevin. I hope everybody's having a great day. And let's see.
And our music is brought to you by Kevin McLeod at IncomeTech.com.
Yeah, great music. He's a good composer. He does a lot of stuff, tracks for movies. Hey, I want to talk about what it's like to live on the road with a motorcycle, where you decide to sell your house, sell your car, sell all your furniture, and just get on your bike and just go. Get away from the old lady, get away from taxes. Just get away and ride and make your whole life just on the two wheels. Hey, you know what got me and Kevin into loving motorcycles was a show starring Michael Parks in 1969. It was called Then Came Bronson. It's about a dude, you know, that decided to give up all his goods, got himself a motorcycle and a little Harley, and he just traveled one spot to another spot all over the country. And I think this show lasted a season or maybe 2 seasons, but it was really cool. I used to watch that, and not so much I got engrossed with the motorcycles. It was just the way of life, getting on your bike and, you know, just going and into new towns and meeting new people and just all the new adventures. So that's why I want to talk about like living on the road.
Well, since you're retired, I mean, you can go whenever you want.
I think your mother would sometimes say, hey, take your bike and just keep on going.
Exactly.
But I still have payments to make. And actually, I don't want to give up my talk shows. Anyway, there's a lot.
Well, hopefully there's a way we'd be able to take our talk show with us eventually.
Oh, yeah, we actually can. We can do it in a suitcase. Or in some cases, Kevin, you can even take yours in a brown paper bag.
Yeah, I guess so. Just put the laptop in my backpack and carry the microphone and just go.
Yeah, get yourself a UPS or UBS, whatever that is, microphone.
GPS, and microphone, all that stuff.
Yeah, just head out and do all that stuff. You know, there's one guy that I'm not going to mention names on the show unless I've talked to the people first.
Try not to.
I will not. Yeah, what is your name again?
Oh, Billy Madison.
Hi, Bill. And hey, that means I don't have to support you no more. Anyway, this one guy, he gets on his bike with his little dog, and he just travels and raises money for charity. But I think he's, 4 years living on the road?
3 years.
3 years. Going on 4 years. And him and his little puppy dog, and they just go from Harley dealers. I think he's virtually been to almost every Harley dealer in the United States. But
he's rode in the snow, and he's gone from Harley dealer to Harley dealer, starting from I haven't seen the whole video, but
yeah,
it shows pictures of him in the snow with his bike, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, and then, you know, and I think his first Harley broke down, and he's on his second Harley, but all the miles on it, and, you know, I think he even crashed it at his first bike one time. And, you know, I really, you know, admire somebody it can actually do that. At my age, I find it hard enough to get on the bike and start it, but, I mean, if I had it all over again, I sometimes, you know, just wonder what if I could have my life all over again. I would just like to get on my bike, you know, like they did in the old days with their horses, you know, and just took off and explored. Well, it's the same way with a motorcycle. If I had it all over again and I was young again, that's what I do. I get on my motorcycle, Kevin, and I would just take off and see new things and meet new people and just enjoy life at the fullest.
Well, that's something I want to do. That's something I would love to do. That's been something I've been dreaming about for a while, and I've been researching how can I take my broadcasting with me, and all that equipment with me, and how can I go town to town with a certain amount of cash, and you know.
Well, you go into a town and you make yourself a little sign that says, "I will wash your dishes for $2 and get more gas money." I don't know.
Something.
But, yeah, something, you know. But, you know, I admire people who can actually just give up everything and just take off and not have any worries other than their bike breaking down or getting slammed by a semi-truck, I guess. But, you know, I think it would be so fun to go out, you know, someplace and, just park your bike for the night by a river, and set up your tarp as a canopy and just sleep and cook and have a beer.
Well, I don't know about the whole tarp and canopy. I would just, bring a tent with me and stuff because I'm still, like, afraid of the boogeyman and stuff, but...
Oh, that's only because I do night dreams,
Yeah, exactly.
The Bigfoot might just grab you. But you know what? A Bigfoot could grab you just as easy, seriously, out of a tent than he could with a tarp between your bike and the ground. You know that.
I know, but at least a tarp, I feel like a little bit protected, and I got my bike there as well, so maybe, I don't know.
Are you one of the guys, seriously? I would feel more comfortable next to my bike curled up, with a tarp over it. At least if somebody said jacking your bike off, you'll know about it right away.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, like it's somebody's like taking it and, you're right next to it.
Well, I'd say screw the tent and, just hop on the bike and go.
Yeah.
Something unexpected just showed up, like an alien or UFO or something.
And you being single and young, just think about that. You can go town to town and, this town was a redhead, this town was a blonde, this was a brunette, this one was bald.
I've only gone to a few states in my life.
That one had purple hair.
I've only gone to a few states in my life, and I have that exploring life. I really want to go to New York. I really want to go to I want to go to the East Coast, but I feel like I don't financially can do it yet.
Well, like these guys that do it. There's another guy that is not, I think he's on his 5th or 6th year now, living on the streets, basically, or on the road. He goes and finds a place, and he camps out on it, that area for a week or two at a time, and then moves on. And he travels the whole United States that way, and he's been doing that lifestyle. I mean, the guy had a very successful job. He was married at one point, had a nice house. He decided to give his house up, his cars up, and he just took his bike, and that's what he's doing. He's living, being a biker and going from town to town. And I think maybe he probably watched Then Came Bronson too, because that's the type of attitude he has. I've actually texted him back and forth a few times in the past, and he just says that he loves that lifestyle.
Just going back and forth, and going state to state, or maybe even shipping your bike to a different continent and exploring that continent as well. And
Yeah, but you know how many years it would take you actually to explore the whole United States? And then you got Canada.
Well, he said, you said that guy took 3 years to go from Harley dealership to Harley dealership. It only took him 3 years. What if I did that? Just go from state to state for maybe a couple years, see if I enjoy that, and then if I do, ship my bike off to, Europe or something, and see how that goes.
Yeah, well, you could go to Hawaii, but I hear a friend of mine did that, and he was really disappointed.
Well, that's an island,
Yeah, and
I'm talking about,
And he said he couldn't ride very far. I mean, there was only so much riding you could do. And then I was talking to a friend I used to know really well on Facebook that lived in Jamaica. And the same thing. He said, hey, Gary, it's like 97 good miles for riding on the roads, and the rest is horrible. And but, you adapt to the area. But,
Exactly.
it would be so awesome, though. Seriously, just think about it. You can go to town, right? Meet new people. And each area is going to have a different culture. So you kind of learn new things of America that most people would never, ever even know, even from the textbooks. So, I mean, it'd be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, just walking into a bar from one state and then walking into a bar the next day, in a different state, and seeing different types of people and, different types.
Yeah, you better watch out what type of bar you go into. They might not like you very well.
That too, Especially if you just walk into a random bar. if I don't know if you guys seen the movie Wild Hogs or anything, something like that could happen.
Oh, what was Wild Hogs? I don't think I ever seen that one. Who was in that? What was it about anyway?
Well, it was about these 3 bikers. I think Martin Lawrence was in it, and these three bikers went on a road trip, and they went to a bar and got into a hustle, blew up the bar, blah blah blah, and then everything ended with in a happy ending.
Oh, that's really explaining a lot about the movie.
Oh, yeah.
That tells me how much you must have really cared about the movie if that's how much you remember, dude. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Well, I was getting straight to the point, that's all.
Yeah.
But check it out.
Or the Fonda dude that made that of all movies. That one was really cool. And I could really, I just like the idea of being able to travel. That's what drives me so crazy, Kevin. When I go on a road trip, you start off in the first day, then the second day.
But you can't be seeing the same places. That's what makes me want to go faster and faster and get to point A so quickly. I don't know about I don't know if there's any people that are in my age group that are 24, 25 that are listening to this, but don't you guys like going fast and stuff, getting to point A and stuff?
Well, I sure don't. I just want to get there in one piece. But I have a friend, Michael Jones, who lives in North Carolina, and seriously, if it wasn't for my bad leg and my poor health, I would, if it was like 2 years ago, I would, no reservations, get on my bike and head off to North Carolina. I drove it. It was like a 4-day drive, a 5-day drive when I was in my early 20s. And when I came back, I did it in 24 hours straight drive. But you know what? You go over the Rockies, you go over and you get into Arkansas and you get in Tennessee. And I'll tell you, the culture, at least back when I did it, that was 40 years ago. I'm sure it's totally changed in 40 years. But the culture was so much different. And when I got in North Carolina, I remember going into a grocery store, and the clerk said, "Wow, you sure have an accent." And I said to her, "What do you mean? I have an accent?" And she goes, "You have one hell of an accent." And I said, "What's it sound like?" She goes, "Oh, you got that L.A. type of accent." And I said, "Well, I won't tell you what I think the type of accent you have. No offense to anybody, but, if you live in North Carolina, you don't think you have an accent because you don't. But if you live in Seattle or L.A., you think you don't have an accent. But if you go down
it's all how the person perceives that person, I guess.
Yeah, and I didn't notice any accents actually till I went into Texas in my car on a road trip with my first wife. And people wanted fish and chips. And I went in there and I said, "Can I get an order of fish and chips?" And she goes, "Fish and chips? What's that? You got an accent." So it's just things like that, just have a lot. I don't know. I just want to do that on my motorcycle. And this summer, I plan, seriously, I'm going to take off. And this year, instead of heading out towards Reno and Las Vegas and Hemet, California, I figured for the same amount of money, I can just get on my bike and head out. And wherever I end up, I'll end up. I'll go I'll go east.
Why don't you take a train?
That's not 2 wheels. I want to ride a bike.
Well, I mean, take a train halfway to your destination and then use the bike to go.
That's not no fun.
I don't know. I'm making suggestions.
Guys out there, really, why don't you email him?
Yeah, email me and tell me what you think about what I just said right there.
Yeah, please do at Motorcycle Talk by Gary